Hello everyone, Derek Morgan here, and today we're going to learn how to authenticate your Terraform deployments to AWS using the Security Token Service. By using STS, every Terraform deployment will have credentials that will assume a role with the permissions necessary to deploy resources. This allows our credentials to be assigned dynamically and temporarily to your Terraform runs based on the resources they're deploying. It helps to reduce the number of user credentials with admin privileges that are floating around and makes it easier to modify permissions without having to redeploy user credentials. So let's take a look at this process. All right, so here I am in my console. I have the role.yaml file open here. And what we've got is a new user being created, and I'm just calling it video user since it's a video that I'm creating. Go ahead and change this to any user you would like. And here what is being allowed is the ability to assume a role through the Security Token Service. Now we head up to the role that we need to assume. This is a super user role or admin role, whatever you want to call it there. And as you can see, the principal is the new user. So the new user is going to be able to assume this role using STS. And the policy that is going to be given to that user is, in this case, I just called it video user access. You may want to call it Terraform user access or something like that. And here you can see the statement, pretty easy, allow everything. Now, of course, this isn't what I would normally recommend, but for the sake of this video, I've made it very simple. You may want to only allow S3 or whatever you are needing to allow for this Terraform run. Now, this particular Terraform run is just deploying S3. And then I've also got a data source here pulling the AWS caller identity so that we can see the user info of the user actually deploying this. That is only for informational purposes, so you can see that the role assumption worked. So we've got an S3 bucket, and that is named using an S3 random ID here that will just ensure that it is unique. Now in the providers.tf, we've got the required providers, of course, AWS. And the provider AWS, I've got a region of US East 1. Feel free to change that if need be. And then we're going to have a profile name. You'll need to pass in the role ARN from this role.yaml and then name the session whatever you'd like. This is for logging purposes. So you name this session whatever you need. That way, if something goes wrong, you can go and check the logs and see what session was causing the issue. That is one of the benefits of the STS process. So now let's get started. What I'm going to do first, and I've got admin credentials assigned right now. If you don't have admin credentials set now, you'll need to go do that and pass in those credentials to your VS Code or terminal or whatever you're using. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to deploy this role.yaml to CloudFormation. So I'll run AWS CloudFormation create stack --stack -name, and I'm just going to name that Terraform STS stack. Then I'll run the template body file role.yaml -- capabilities. Since we are dealing with IAM stuff, we're going to need to add some IAM capabilities. So capability named IAM, just like that. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and run that. And I'm talking a little too fast. Let's go back and retype that as capabilities. There we go. Okay, so now it's running. So now what I'm going to do is just watch this process using the Linux watch command and describe stacks. So I just typed in watch AWS CloudFormation describe stacks, stack name, Terraform STS stack, query, stacks, and the first stack, stack status. So we're seeing create in progress, and every 2 seconds this is going to refresh until it is create complete. All right, there we go. It is create complete. So I'm going to Control C to get out of that. And here is that command again, watch AWS CloudFormation describe stacks, etc., etc. It's just this watch command here, which is very handy for things like this. So now what we're going to do is create an access key for that new user. So AWS IAM create -access -key user name, and that was video user. All right, perfect. So now I have that access key. So I'm going to run AWS configure profile video. That's just going to be a profile that I add to my AWS credentials. So the AWS access key is here. The secret access key is here. And the default region name, in my case, I'm going to keep it US East 1. And I won't bother with this last piece here. All right, perfect. So now I can run AWS STS get caller identity profile video. And we can see here we've got the user ID, the account, and the ARN. All right, so now we need to start filling some things in. First up, this profile is going to be video. And then next we need the role ARN, not the user ARN. So to get the role ARN, we'll actually get that from the outputs of our CloudFormation stack. That's going to be the easiest way to do this. So I'm going to AWS CloudFormation, describe stacks, stack name, Terraform STS stack. And then I can see here, this output is right here for the output value. And I'm going to paste that right in. And that should be everything we need. So now that we've done that, and all of my files are saved here, let's go ahead and run Terraform init, Terraform plan. All right, looking good. And Terraform apply, auto approve. All right, perfect. We can see here in the outputs that we are using that super user role, not our original admin role that we were using. We've got a user ID with the Terraform session right there. So everything worked out exactly the way we were hoping. And if we run AWS S3 LS, I can see my example bucket right here. All right, great. So that worked out. If you are looking to destroy all of this, let's go ahead and do that. AWS CloudFormation, delete stack, stack name, Terraform STS stack. And then once again, you need to actually type right. CloudFormation is not a word. There we go. And then I'm going to use that watch command and describe that stack status again right here. Just pasted that in so I don't have any more typos. And I'll go ahead and hit enter there, delete in progress. And when this comes back as a stack not found, you are good to go. All right, an error occurred. That is right. That means that stack is nice and deleted. And finally, if you want to delete those credentials, we'll just run this. Of course, this will only work in VS Code or any other IDE that uses the code command. And we just delete those credentials from that and save the file. All right, so that is everything. I hope you enjoyed this quick little tutorial. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And of course, subscribe to my channel and all the other things. Thanks, everybody.